So I'm on 3, and I'm translating to the right. So 3, 4 is going into left side bending. So if I'm in extension, going this way, I'm going into extension left side bending, I can encourage that with what glide on the right? A sal, U joint.
On the right.
The imp is on the left, okay? Your Z joint. Or I'm in flexion, I'm translating. I can accentuate that by doing a Z joint sal on the right, U joint imp on the left. And there we're right at the barrier. But I'm going to translate right. Look down at her from wherever. So look down from the top. Because now I'm going to take 3, 4 out of side bending. Which way is the rest of her next side bend?
To the right.
To the right.
Yeah. But it's also translated right. You can't see that unless you're looking down, and then you see, yeah, okay, I can see the right side bending. Otherwise, it's one of those things where you think it doesn't make sense. And you see how fast she locks up. So if we have a really, really stiff joint, we could do craniovertebral locking from above. So down to and into C3, 4. Extend, translate, get to the barrier with the Z and U joint, and we're there. So we can now simply do the mobilization the same way, except similar to this, in that we're focused on U joint, Z joint, except much bigger lever. So that's if we've got no problems above or below. Let's imagine we've got a sensitive craniovertebral region or unstable C2-3. We're trying to mobilize 3-4. I'm going to keep the head in neutral as I lift C3-4 into extension and then translate. So everything above 3-4 is in neutral, and then I can simply take the head with me as I move. So unsound joints, that's what I call them. Unsound joints above, no problems below. Let's look at the opposite. Where we have unsound joints below, which is more likely, they go into a craniovertebral lock down to and into 3-4, leaving this part in neutral. And then I'm going to go on 4, and I'm going to pull it up into 3. So that's how I get extension. So if I'm on 3-4, this will be a brain teaser. If I'm on 4, pulling up into an imp glide on the Z joint, what am I doing on the right side?
Creating an imp.
Imp U, yeah.
On the U joint.
Of the 3 on 4.
Right?
I'm on 4. So I'm moving 4 under a fixed 3.
It's a relative imp of 3 on 4.
Why are you doing that?
Just felt like it.
No, but like what got you to the point where you said, I
Okay.
need to do it this way?
Yeah. I know I have a stiff C3-4, but I've got an unstable or say foraminal compression.
Okay.
Lower down. Then I don't want to do anything lower down. I'm just going to tighten up from above. There was the craniovertebral lock. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to pull the Z joint up. Now if I'm pulling the Z joint up on the inferior vertebra, that will be a sal glide. And what I said was, okay, if you're going to do that, what are you going to be doing on the right side of C4? You want a relative sal of the U joint on the right on 3, but you're not on 3, you're on 4, so you're going to be doing a imp glide.
So this is what you would have done on the woman that had the...
Yeah, if I was mobilizing.
Okay.
Could you
So
also
you're on-
mobilize 3, or because you want to go into 3, that's already stiff. So you have
You
to
could
move
you
forward.
could try doing it the way I showed you originally.
Okay.
So this would, my thumb would be on 4, My index finger is on 3, so 4 is going to create the Z joint. Index finger is going to create the U joint movement. Craniovertebrally lock down to there. The only problem is that you're still compressing through the spine from above down, and if it's really sensitive, that in itself will cause arm pain. Whereas this, we can even get the lower spine into flexion and then extend from above, and now we're pulling up away from C6.
So the reason you're not actually going on 3 and doing an in on the left side is because you have the unstable segments below?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm locking from above, moving from below.
Gotcha.
If I have the real problem of problems above and below, which does happen, then you've got to try to isolate that movement into the segment. So if I was on 3-4, I'd have to go, okay, extend it at that level only. Now I'm going to produce a, let's say, an imp glide on the left Z joint and a sal on the right. And that is isolating it without going through anything above or below. And when you get really good, you'll be able to manipulate like that with no movement from above or below. So that's tough. You've got to be super fast, which you'll get there. So that's how we'd use locking to isolate a stiff, painless joint. Also how we're going to demonstrate to you how to manipulate when the time comes. Okay, so we could have somebody coming in with shoulder dysfunction because C6 is causing hypertonus of serratus. But in our checking, we notice that she has a positive Sperling's test. So we'd be thinking, okay, locking from above, now let's move her from below, while we fix from above. So if you don't have a third hand, you can always try and grow one. Otherwise, you're going to need a folded pillow or towel to just fix as you're pulling up so that the head isn't going to be wobbling around. When you come to manipulate, obviously the speed factor is crucial, so this would not be effective. This is when we're going to decide, are we coming now from above or are we coming from below, and we position ourselves accordingly. Okay, so why don't you just try the locking techniques from above and below and we'll move on.